So I want to talk about money today. I want to be upfront about something before I say anything else. This video is not about how I figured it all out, because I have not. What I have figured out is that what's been driving the pattern underneath it. And that distinction, I think, is actually way more useful, because I've come to believe most of our financial lives aren't really about money at all. They're about the level we're operating from, which is the root. And nowhere has that been more obvious to me than in my own relationship with money. So that's what this video is about. The honest pattern, where it came from, what it cost me, and where I am now, which is still very much in progress. I grew up in a pretty big family, 8 siblings, believe it or not. In a lot of large families, money is always tight. And I want to be careful of how I say this, because I love the hell out of my family and I'm not here to paint anyone in a negative light. But the energy around money when I was growing up was stressful. It was tense. And as a kid, you absorb that. You don't have words for it. You don't analyze it. You just take it in. It becomes your data. It becomes the soil you're growing in. And here's what my data said. There's never enough, John. Money goes out and the hole just keeps getting bigger. There's no full circle. No sense of money flowing out as naturally as it flows back in. And there's just this constant feeling of scarcity, of not quite enough, of something always about to go wrong, a car breaking down. There's stress about making rent, stress about buying clothes for work. Whatever it was, the undercurrent was always the same: not enough. And I carried that into my adult life, without even realizing it, because that's how the subconscious data works in our life. You don't decide to believe it. You just do, because it's all you've ever known. And so what did that look like in practice? In my 20s and in my 30s, I was chasing money anxiously, always looking for that angle, that opportunity, that thing that was going to change everything for me. And underneath all of that was this deep belief that I was just one big win away from, being financially okay. If I could just get a little more, then I could relax. Then I could stop worrying. But that finish line, it just kept moving further and further out, because the belief that I didn't have enough, it was generating, experiences that confirm that belief. And that's the law of resonance in action. You don't get what you want, you get what you are at the deepest level. And I was operating from scarcity, and my financial life kept reflecting that back to me, no matter what I did on the surface level. And so then came crypto, and I've talked about Terra Luna before on this channel, which basically is a stable coin that crashed, and I, along with tons of other people, lost a lot of money. But today I want to come at it from a different angle. When I talked about it before, I talked about how stress, it can narrow your perception, how I made a decision that seemed rational at the time, and it really wasn't. It was stress narrowing my perception. But here's what I didn't say. The real reason I was in crypto, the crypto market to begin with, was out of desperation. I saw this wave coming, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of it, and I thought, this is my ticket. This is the thing that's finally going to change everything. And I started, taking big risks, not from a place of intelligent, calculated investing, but honestly from a place of fear of missing out, from scarcity energy dressed up as opportunity. And Terra Luna, the so-called stable coin that was supposed to be the safe bet, wiped out nearly $45 billion in market value in 1 week. And I was in it significantly. And when it fell, I didn't just lose money. I felt it in every cell of my body, because it wasn't just money. It was my ticket. It was the thing that was supposed to finally make me okay. And when it was gone, I spiraled hard. And I look back now and I can see it so clearly. I wasn't investing. I was operating from the same scarcity route I'd always been operating from, just this time with a lot higher stakes. And so fast forward, where am I now? And here's where I want to be really honest, because this is the part most people skip. Things, they are genuinely better. I got married at 42 and I bought a modest house, and I feel more comfortable than I have ever. What I would say is that the desperate get-rich-quick energy is mostly gone. I don't need to hit a home run anymore. I just want enough to live the life that I want, have good experiences, buy things here and there without letting those things actually own me. And I've noticed something interesting recently. The things that I actually do buy, they don't actually bring that much joy, or at least not the way that that I thought they would. And that I think is actually progress, because for a long time I thought the next thing would be the next purchase, the next level of income, the next milestone. And slowly I think that's losing its grip, and things are starting to not own me as much as they used to. And that feels like genuine movement and some progress. But here's the honest part, the part that I'm still in. There's still this deep subconscious belief that I'm working on that says, just a little bit more and you're going to be okay, John. Just a little bit more in that account. Just a little bit more security. Just a little bit more of that war chest. Build it up. When you have that, you can relax. When you have that, you can have fun. Then you can enjoy life. And what I'm doing is I keep kicking the can down the road, moving the finish line, telling myself that comfort, that ease, that abundance are just out there. They're around the corner. I just need to accomplish one more thing. And I recognize that pattern now, and I can see it operating and playing out. But I've said it before, and seeing a pattern and being free from it, those are two different things. And I know I've said it before that knowing something is not the same as being free from it. And that's where I think the law of resonance gets really personal here, because if I'm still operating from a root level belief that says, not enough, John, then there's really no amount of money is gonna, make me feel like enough. The fruit, it can't outgrow the root. And so I think the work, it's not making more money. It's going deeper into the belief that's generating the experience of scarcity. And then maybe slowly through practice, through awareness, through tending to the root, letting that belief dissolve from the inside out. So here's where I want to leave you. And I want to say this as honestly as I can. I don't have a clean ending to this video. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I cracked the code on money and abundance, because I haven't. But what I can tell you is what I've learned about where the real work is. It's not the investment strategy. It's not changing the income level. It's not in how many things you or I own or don't own. It's in the root belief about whether there is enough, whether we are enough, whether life is fundamentally a place of scarcity or it's a place of abundance. And that belief, I truly think, lives at the root level, not at the thinking level, not at the behavior level, but really honestly and truly at the deepest level of who you and I are. And the only way I know how to work at that level is the same thing that I've been coming back to, and that is the practice, tending the root, slowly purifying the water that the belief is actually flowing through, not forcing a new belief on top of an old one, but dissolving the old one. And doing that by accessing a level deeper than the belief itself. I think that's the work. And I'm in it. right alongside any of you. So when is enough? And the truth is, I'm still figuring that out, but I know I'm closer than I was, and I think that's enough for now.